You're not broke because you're bad with money. You're broke because the system quietly takes from you every single month, and you don't even see it. Hey, good to see you here. My name is Jack, and today I want to walk with you through something most people feel, but almost no one fully understands. It's not really about budgeting or skipping coffee or even how much you earn. It's something quieter than that, something built into the system itself. We call it taxes, but what we're really looking at is the invisible tax, the one that quietly drains the middle class while some of the wealthiest people legally pay close to nothing. And the uncomfortable truth is, most people don't realize it's happening until years have already passed. It usually starts in a very normal way. Someone like Daniel, 32 years old, working a stable job, earning around $60,000 a year. On paper, that sounds like a decent, steady life. But before Daniel even touches his money, it starts shrinking. Federal income tax takes a portion, Social Security and Medicare take another 7.65%, and depending on where he lives, state taxes quietly take more. By the time everything is deducted, Daniel has already lost around $13,000 to $14,000. That's roughly over 20% gone before he even sees his paycheck. And that's the part most people are aware of. But then his actual life begins. His monthly paycheck lands at around $3,800. Rent immediately takes $1,500. His car payment quietly follows at $400. Insurance, groceries, gas, phone, internet, they all take their share. Nothing feels extreme, nothing feels irresponsible, but the money keeps disappearing. And then there are these smaller, almost invisible layers. Every time Daniel buys something, there's sales tax added on top. Groceries, electronics, even everyday items slowly cost more than what's on the price tag. Over a year, that alone quietly removes another chunk of his income, maybe $1,500 or more, without him ever really noticing it as tax. And then there are the things he doesn't even think about. Property taxes built into his rent, hidden costs passed down to him by landlords, fees baked into services. By the time you step back and look at the full picture, Daniel isn't just paying 20% in taxes. It's closer to 30%, sometimes even more, spread across different layers of his everyday life. And yet, he doesn't feel like he's doing anything wrong. He's working, paying bills, trying to save a little, just like he was told. Now pause for a moment and ask yourself something honestly. When was the last time you actually calculated how much of your money disappears, not just from income tax, but from every small deduction, every extra percentage, every hidden layer? Most people never do, because it's not presented in one clear number. It's scattered, quiet, and constant. Now shift your attention to someone on the other side of the system. Not a celebrity, not a fantasy, just someone wealthy enough to have most of their money in assets instead of salary. The way their money is treated is completely different. They don't rely on a paycheck the way Daniel does. Their wealth grows through investments, stocks, businesses, and real estate. And here's where things start to feel different. In the US, income from work is taxed immediately and heavily, but income from assets follows different rules. If someone owns stocks and those stocks grow in value, they don't pay tax on that growth unless they sell. So if their portfolio increases by millions in a year, but they don't sell anything, their tax bill on that growth is zero. Not reduced, zero. And instead of selling those assets, which would trigger taxes, they can borrow against them. Banks are willing to lend large amounts of money to people who already have large assets. And here's the key detail. Loans are not considered income, so they aren't taxed. So while Daniel earns money and gets taxed immediately, someone else can access large amounts of money through loans and pay nothing in taxes on it. Same system, different experience, and it goes even deeper. Real estate investors can use something called depreciation, where they report that a property is losing value over time, even if in reality it's increasing. This allows them to reduce their taxable income on paper, sometimes dramatically, while their actual wealth continues to grow. Now step back and look at both sides over time. Daniel works for 10 years, consistently paying taxes from every paycheck, from everything he buys, from the cost of living itself. He tries to save, maybe puts aside a few $100s a month. It's slow, steady, but it always feels like something is holding him back, like he's moving forward, but the ground beneath him is slightly pulling him back at the same time. Meanwhile, someone with assets experiences growth without the same friction. Their money compounds in a different environment, one with fewer immediate deductions, fewer constant reductions. The system isn't necessarily hidden. It's legal, documented, structured this way. But most people are never really taught how it works in practice. They're taught to work harder, earn more, save what they can. But they're rarely shown how the type of income they rely on changes everything. And this is where it becomes uncomfortable, because it challenges something people believe deeply, that working harder is the main path forward. But what if the structure itself makes that path heavier? What if the issue isn't effort, but how money flows and how it's treated along the way? Go back to Daniel again. It's a Friday. His paycheck comes in, and for a moment, it feels like relief. But within days, the money is already moving out. Rent, bills, groceries, small purchases that don't seem significant on their own. By the end of the weekend, the balance has dropped more than expected. Not because of bad decisions, but because of a system that quietly takes from every angle. If Daniel manages to save $300 a month, that's $3,600 a year. Over 10 years, that becomes $36,000, not counting any interest. It's disciplined, responsible, and not easy. But compare that to someone with $1 million in assets earning a modest 7% annually. That's $70,000 in growth each year, potentially taxed less or delayed entirely depending on how it's handled. That difference isn't about effort or intelligence. It's about position. It's about how money enters your life and how it's treated once it's there. So, the question slowly shifts. Is the problem really that people don't work hard enough, or is it that the system rewards certain types of income more than others? And maybe the hardest truth to sit with is this. Most people spend their entire lives trying to increase their income without realizing that income itself is one of the most heavily taxed paths available. There's no quick solution here, no easy answer to wrap everything up neatly, just awareness. Because once you start seeing how it works, it becomes difficult to ignore. And maybe that awareness is where everything begins, not with immediate action, but with a clearer understanding of the system you've been moving through all along.